He's got a bit of a lunchbox there.
It's just because I can't justify buying Funko Pops because I don't particularly like them. But for a fiver, I thought it might have been something interesting.
It's like no one's noticed their heads are really big.
Yeah.
I want to drink wine. There's.
Hello, it's Saturday night, it's 7 o'clock, and it's time for Transformers the Show. On tonight's show, we're going to talk all about Unicron. We've got the discussions all about Unicron. We're going to talk about his shell forming. He's in the news, and there's loads more. We've also got Cang Toys. We're going to do the unboxing. Alexis has that. He's also going to review Mech Fans Toys Tracks. We have all the latest news, all the latest discussion, and all our latest pickups, plus loads more. Onto the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
So first thing in the news earlier this week was the 115 Utopia YW11 upgrade kit for Double Dealer, which gives him a little bit more height. I can zoom in on the right point. There we are. Gives him a little bit more height in robot mode. A lot of people complained about the fact that his thighs basically seemed to sit too low, so his knees were behind the lower legs. So that's one of the things it does. And also it has some fillers for things like the legs, and also for the rocket launcher mode, some fillers for the front of it, because there was some criticism of there just being a big hole just under the front of the cab.
That's pretty good. And
those are the pieces. And then, of course, as we've already mentioned, or you have already mentioned, Paul, Haslab Unicron. There's been some more photos. We're not going to talk too much about it now because it is in our discussion, but you can see there how the shell part, the outer shell part of the Unicron can actually be detached to reform most, at least, of his planet-eating
I like the double dealer thing, by the way. Just want to say I really like that. That's actually made me consider it quite a lot now, because I thought he was too stumpy, too short, and I didn't realize. No, I took the photographs in, but I didn't realize that he's taller. And it's like, oh, it actually does make him look better. He actually
he is. It does help, and I have ordered a set myself. But anyway, Haslab Unicron. So we're going to have a discussion about this later, because it has.
Who did you order from, Andy?
I was going to say.
TF
Safari.
The name of the company. Yes, TF Safari. So I've gone in with Nathan because he said he was buying a set and asked if I wanted to go in with him. So TF Safari.
Shit, I want one.
Sorry, I didn't. I thought it would just be me. My double dealer obsession. So yes, we're going to talk about Haslab Unicron. We're going to talk about the shell forming nature of it later on. And there you just get that size. I mean, that is unbelievable.
Size matters.
Is it Zeta Toys?
Yeah, Studio Cell Unicron.
And that looked big when you had that and you showed us the photos and had it on the show. But then just wow.
Yeah, that just looks like sex.
Pure sex.
And then to go with MP52, they have a Starscream add-on set, the Coronation. Now, I'm not sure, because I don't collect Masterpiece, exactly how this is being released, if it's a separate thing, but it has been revealed by Takara, so I'm assuming it's official.
Alexis, the original one, the original MP, so the original Starscreams, all of them came with the Coronation kit. Right. Part of the original, no extras. So I'd be surprised if they didn't have this along with it. People would be said, "Oh, it came with the Coronation kit. Why didn't the Coronation kit? Where's the Coronation kit? You got a Coronation kit."
I'm just thinking about Coronation Chicken.
Yeah. How many times can we say Coronation? And then we've got the redecos that we know are coming of the zombie-style barricade and a purple version of Paleotrex for reasons which I'm sure will become clear.
I'm just not going to get them. I just
really.
I think you will. They'll come in a set.
Have you missed anything from the last, like from Power and Crimes onwards?
I missed the Takara Nemesis Prime, and then I got the Netflix Nemesis Prime, so that was a good one to miss out on, because
I'll keep
Netflix
that.
Nemesis
That's
Prime came with a trailer and more stuff and Black Goo. Woohoo.
So you did miss out on it, but you kind of didn't, because then you got the other one. You got the better version.
You missed out and then you won.
So yeah, there they are, robot mode and whatever that is.
They look shit, don't they? They look really
They
shit.
look awful.
Look at his face. What the fuck's that?
Let's just go back a second. Which this?
Wait for their faces.
Oh, come on,
What the
let me
fuck, Hasbro? You do some quality stuff and then you just go, oh.
I question that, I really do.
Should we paint this? Should we paint Barricade? No, he's a zombie.
Oh, let me out of here.
Zombies don't have faces.
Oh, why won't it let me out?
And his IT skills come back to haunt us.
I don't know, it'd be interesting to know if
Well, I
actually,
did
like,
zoom in. I didn't think it was
interesting to know if like each barricade is the same.
Everyone watch Andy.
Or if each barricade is different, like when they come out, because it looks quite difficult to get that mold. It doesn't look like rust. It looks. I still think that's really difficult to get like that.
Well, when they done the battle damage on, I think it was a Siege, wasn't it? The battle damage was the same for every single one. Like it wasn't distinct.
I mean, I get to get that kind of effect on it. I suppose it's kind of impressive, but it's one scene from Siege where there's a zombie-looking version of Barricade. I wouldn't be bothered. Completists, though, I'm not a completist. So if you're a completist,
Army builders, not
army builders. Oh, that we'd all
go for it. Go for it, guys.
Oh, controversial.
Zombie builders.
It was such a great show as well. I can see why you'd want to recreate all the scenes.
We've got Studio Series movie Dino, which we've got pictures of now.
Named after an Italian waiter.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you're into that, looks quite good.
Great almost, as always.
Then we had this. So I can't remember if we discussed it on last week's show, but there are now Funko Pops, Transformers Funko Pops that have been appearing in, they've been spotted in Tesco's over here. In some Tesco's, people are reporting they're already cut down to a $5. But one of them that was revealed in America was this Grimlock version, which was apparently exclusive to Virtual Con, along with a load of other Funko Pops that were all exclusive to it. And of course, because it was all online, it sold out really, really quickly. And I think people were a bit narc. They've now revealed this is going to be sold through GameStop in the US, which means there's a chance we'll get it over here, because some of the GameStop stuff comes out through companies like Zavvi and some of the other companies that import over here. So if you are into your Funko Pops, your Transformers Funko Pops, there might still be a chance of you getting this. Now these were a bit of a random one. So these are Diamond Select Toys Transformers Mini Mates Series 1. I was reading online that these were released originally back in 2002 and are being re-released. I'm not really sure why. There you go.
It's kind of like the Muppet Baby version of Transformers, isn't it?
It really is, but it's, yeah. I mean, again, for those people, and there are members of the fandom.
Are these originals from 2002?
From what I was reading, it suggested that these were the same molds that were sold back then, but I'm not an expert on it. If somebody knows more, please feel free to comment about it and, you know, let us know. But yeah, I mean, it's this one. It's the Shockwave. What's going on with the neck thing? What's the thing?
Neck wave.
I mean, jeez.
Bumblebee just looks the
same. He looks like somebody. Just kill me now. Right. Moving on. Takara have announced another movie masterpiece figure is going to be revealed on the 25th of this month.
Who do you want it to be?
That time. Who I want it to be?
Yeah.
Nobody. I can't stand the movie.
Optimus Prime Bumblebee.
Alexis,
Optimus Prime Bumblebee.
It's going to be probably something like that, yeah. Because we've seen a flash, haven't we, of what may have been a fake version of the Bumblebee movie, Optimus Prime. So it's probably just going to be the proper reveal of that, which actually would be quite good, because I don't mind that design of it. But
like the Minesweeper one. Can you remember what the Minesweeper's called? Landfill? No, that's
Minesweeper.
Yeah, he's got the things at the front of his truck.
You mean Bone Crusher?
Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher, that's it.
Have we had a masterpiece? Bone Crusher? No, Studio Series, wasn't it? I think we've had a
Studio Studio Series one.
Could be. And you know what? Bone Crusher was one of the more interesting designs from that first movie. So that one would be quite interesting.
Cool.
Then we have this. So Super 7 are doing their Transformers statues, their Transformers figures. And this is Optimus Prime, and they've revealed a picture of the actual packaging for it and compared it to what apparently is the ultimate Panthro figure. So if you know the size of that, you get an idea of the size of this.
Super 7 is like, they're all 7 inches. That's the point, right? Super 7, they're 7 inches. Yeah, Super 7 inches.
That's a really tiny version of Panthro. Which
no, because obviously they had the Mega Masters, was it? The Prime and the Megatron, which were like 18 inches, lit up eyes, and they're like 200 quid. They failed. No one ever bought them. So this is obviously they're trying to re-release action figures all the time, like Action Masters.
Well, it's called Super Shogun Optimus Prime. So I have no idea if that means anything about like how the figure will look different. But obviously the silhouette you get on the front just looks like G1 Optimus.
We looked at some of the Super 7 stuff and it just looked awful, didn't it?
Yeah, well,
we weren't
the
Red
fans.
series.
Yeah, the Red series.
My personal opinion
is a bit hit and miss from what I hear.
But the Red series looked better aesthetically.
I think so, yeah. And then we had this, which was the 3-0 DLX collectible figures. So they're doing a version of War for Cybertron Nemesis Prime.
Does this transform?
Pass. Oops. I'm not sure.
I
thought the DLX stuff was more like really posable statues, but again, I don't collect it, so.
It looks like it's got as much posability as the MMC packs, Iron packs. It just looks really posable. If you're into that sort of thing.
And it comes obviously with a display stand and some other bits and pieces there, as usual, as you'd expect with something like that, because they're not cheap, are they? These 3-0 DLX figures, I think they're fairly on the pricey side. So, but yeah, that is all of the news. We've not that we picked up on anyway. We've not had any other real major third-party news. So,
do you want to make some up?
Yeah,
Alexis, make something up.
Tell us something.
What have Fans Toys announced the release of?
I was going to say, Fans Toys do have their new
Masterpiece Wheelie.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Fans Toys Masterpiece Wheelie.
God, that is going to look good. And how much is it? £720?
Bargain.
That's good for Fans Toys. It's quite cheap, actually. Cool. They'll probably break when you open it.
It breaks as soon as you get it out of the box.
There's no legs.
We love you, Fans Toys.
That was awesome. Great news. Right, it is time for Mr. Arrowfyre. Over to you, Arrowfyre.
Thanks, guys. Hello, everyone. It's Arrowfyre back once again, like a bad smell. Now, I got thinking the other day, there are some relatively recent characters that have been reintroduced or introduced for the first time in the Transformers franchise that are really cool characters and become quite fan favourites, but we haven't really seen them in the wider Transformer community. In particular, I'm talking about Tarn of the Decepticon Justice Division, Nova Prime, and Windblade. Now, these characters have appeared in their own little continuities, their own little pockets of the Transformers universe, but we haven't seen them widely incorporated, and you'll notice all three of them are missing from the War for Cybertron line. I think that's a bit of a shame, but I want to go into why. So we'll start off with the easy one, and that's Tarn. Now, Tarn is kind of Transformers' version of Carnage of Marvel, in that he is a ruthless Decepticon bounty hunter who is incredibly loyal to Megatron and the Decepticon cause. At least this is how he's portrayed in the IDW continuity, which brought him in. Now, we do see Tarn in the Cyberverse series, which is anything but what I've just described. But one thing you can say about Tarn is he is meant for a more mature audience. This is probably why we haven't seen him in a wider community, because Transformers is still largely aimed at kids. And he's not exactly kid-friendly, is he? But he's still a very interesting character, and IDW did such a good job with him. I would love to have seen him introduced into War for Cybertron somehow. Could he even be in the live-action movies? I don't know. I just want to see that character more and more, somehow being fitted in. There's this loyalist to Megatron, more so than a Soundwave, more devious than a Shockwave. It's interesting that a character like that has been created when you have a Soundwave and a Shockwave. He's fiercely loyal, but he's also really fierce. Another one that was created by IDW was Nova Prime. I say created, it's hard to say really if prior to IDW, if the previous primes had ever been explored. I can't think of many instances where this would be the case, but IDW certainly took this and ran with it, and we saw it in the Heart of Darkness series, I think it was, where you saw Nova Prime setting out to really conquer worlds with Galvatron at his side. This gave a sort of a real insight into how absolute power corrupts absolutely, how the madness almost sets in, and he goes from being this noble prime to very much a conqueror of worlds. And this is something that really should be explored more. It shouldn't all be hugs and kisses and sweet smelling roses. There is this devious side to being a noble leader. At least that's how it starts. The only thing that we get outside of the IDW continuity is at the end of the computer game Transformers Devastation, where you see a cutscene at the very end, spoiler, I say if, Nova Prime comes to life and his eyes light up and you think, oh, there's going to be a sequel and it's going to involve Nova Prime. This would be brilliant. If we ever are or were to get Devastation Part 2, it would be great if the main villain of the game were to be Nova Prime. Could you have the Autobots and the Decepticons teaming up to take on a corrupt Prime? It sounds very mouth-watering when you think about it, but I don't think it's probably going to happen, but I would love to see it happen. And we'll finish off with Windblade. Now, Windblade is obviously a character who was very much constructed cold, mostly by fan creation through Hasbro, making their own competition, design your new Transformer character. And she's fitted in quite well, so much so in the IDW comics, she's got her own mini-series. And I think she is a great protagonist in the Till All Are One series, constantly at loggerheads with Starscream. Now, again, Windblade has been involved in the Cyberverse cartoon. She has had other inclusions. But again, when you look at the War for Cybertron, and I know it's going back to the beginning, I know it's very G1, but we're kind of having RC as the main female Autobot. And I would argue the fan popularity or the presence of Windblade has kind of made her the #1 female Transformer. So I would have assumed to have seen Windblade in War for Cybertron ahead of RC, or even both. But I was surprised to see her left out. She's become a very prominent character. Coupled with her ability as a city speaker, this just adds more depth to the character. And it's something that you want to see more and more of. I think it's really quite interesting how a very fresh character, a very new character, has risen to prominence so quickly, yet I don't think we really have much of a mainline toy. There certainly isn't anything in the Masterpiece range, and I don't think anything's planned. It's a shame that she's included in some elements, but not others. And there you go, there's just 3 characters that I think we could probably do more with in the wider Transformer community. We could see a bit more of and have a bit more inclusion. What do you guys think? Is there anyone else that you want to see who's maybe been in the shadows for a bit too long and you want to see them come into the limelight? Maybe someone like, I don't know, Eight-Face. But I'll hand you back to the guys from the show.
Thanks, Arrowfyre. That was awesome. Right, now on to Fans Toys Innuendo. So it's probably I would say the most popular bit of our show, where we take a section from Fans Toys, the Masterpiece Facebook group, and I change one of the images over with another image.
Oh, you're such a twat.
So this person's posting in Fans Toys Masterpiece Official. Great, really good Facebook page. They do get a little bit emotive about their toys. Which one would you stay with? And because really got a strong grasp of the English language there, someone's commented underneath. Dolphin Lover 200.
Alexis,
could this be Alexis' RC collection?
I've kept both. Nice to have options. So now I'd like to have
by shirt you've taken the piss out of tonight.
a guess between Jamie and Andy what you think it is, and it'll be interesting to see if
I would have said the same thing.
I know exactly what it is because it was literally 2 days ago.
You know what?
It says
I'm going to go with the cups. I'm going to go with the 2 cups.
2 cups. 2 cups.
That's a good answer.
Just to give a different answer to Jamie, really.
No, but that's a good answer, Andy. You're probably right.
Alexis, what's the answer?
It's X-Transbots. Lock.
For the 2 cups.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's great.
Your comments, right, it's great.
And then Fans Toys Coot. Yeah. Fans Toys Coot.
Cool. It was actually Sovereign and Fans Toys.
Oh shit!
You commented on it, you.
Oh yeah, it was actually, wasn't it?
I don't even know.
I remember now.
Because it was you. That's why you remember.
Can we do that again? Can we do that again? Come back
again. Alexis, can you remember what it was?
I think it was Fans Toys Sovereign.
No, you're wrong. It was actually Jake Grinmill and the other actor.
Grinmill.
Back
Oh,
that was it.
Nice one. Nice one, you tosser.
Right, on to pickups. Who would like to go fast? Andy, come. Andy, kick us off.
Well, not a lot this week, but obviously. No, not CJ Face. That was last week. Sorry.
Build up an army of CJ Faces.
Dude, take them out.
I actually really want one of those now. I haven't had one.
Do you know what, Alexis? I'll have to send it to you.
There we go.
I forgot to mention this the other week, which I got from Mr. Farrelly himself.
Yeah.
So volume 1 of More Than Meets the Eye, which I did not have in the kind of collected version, the graphic novel version. So that was one thing that I got, and it is lovely. And if you haven't read them, read them. They're awesome. I know. How far are you through now, Alexis? Oh, yeah, you muted yourself.
I am just past Rewind and Chrome Dome. Have that thing where you find out what's happened to Chrome Dome and all his previous.
Oh yeah, history stuff.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
And
no spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get Alexis? Do you get the comics or do you get the graphic novels? Because I imagine the comics you can like get to the end and go for a wee, and then you can do the next comic. But the graphic novel is quite long, and you have to.
So I've got the graphic. I've got the graphic novels. I used to read my iPad, but I thought, you know what? I pay for these bloody books. I'm going to sit there and read them out, and they do come with like a little marker, so you can mark your page, and they are lovely to flip for actually. So I've got those for the G1. I've got the Hatchet books, and I've got the IDW, the big hardback ones. So yeah, I'm on phase 2, 5, and they've got to about 8 at the moment, I think. So released.
Cool.
And the only other thing I got was, well, it wasn't me. Claire was so inspired by what she's watched over the last few weeks that she ordered off eBay a nice dolphin. But it's exciting because look.
Oh, his mouth opens.
That would be good for Alexis later.
Hey?
That is fantastic.
And he won't shut up once you get it started. He just goes and goes. God, it's so.
It just goes and goes. It's like Alexis.
Anyway. Oh God, I didn't even press anything then. Oh my God, it's motion activated. Anyway,
it is good.
It is good. But yeah, Emily's actually really chuffed with it. She loves it.
Well, as long as she knows it's gonna feature heavily in our shows going forward. That's fine.
No,
Right.
because we discussed it, and this is the end of it. We discussed it.
That's it now. That's it. Now it's the end.
Now it's the end. Has anyone seen what my name is tonight?
After the calendar comes out.
You know, he'll be laughing when you first came on.
I couldn't get my thing to work. 3 Buns Undone. How did you go on this week, Sir Alexis?
Am I pinned?
You're about
to say, am I still? I've gone back to gallery view.
Okay, so quick fire round. I got this guy. Yeah, got Siege, Wolf Sabdron, Shockwave. Just want to say, really impressed with him. Ratchets, small ratchets, but again, really impressive. You know, light piping works immensely well. You get him in the right place, and yeah, amazing. I've got Skytread as well, aka Flywheels, my little boy.
Oh, he does look good. I like.
He's really good. So they like. I've got the what's the tape one called? Blaster's little companion called the other one they did, which is the Autobot version, the blue and red one.
The blue and white one.
Blue and red one.
Oh, snap.
Blue and red blaster.
Jump starter snaps.
That one.
Slam dance.
Slam dance. Yeah.
You picked him up this week.
Yeah, they like my little boys like him, so I got them one of those.
Because that's the thing about Slam Dance, isn't it? They wish the blue bit was the bottom and the red bit was the top.
Is that how it looked in the G1 version? Yeah. It wasn't that the one where there was a problem with it that you found, Jamie, and you highlighted again in the groups. You highlighted.
Yeah, you just unscrew it. The screws are generally too tight.
That's it.
It's too much tension on it.
Was it in the ankles or something?
Yeah, the ankles, and you just unscrew it, and it just fixes a lot of the generic problems of the mode. So the foot doesn't explode or break when you transform.
Yes, I got lucky with mine, I think so. This guy, this is Mech Fans Toys. Yeah, He's pretty cool. I saw it on eBay getting quite scarce. It might just be like low stock or something. So I thought I'd buy this one. Unboxed, 20 quid. I think it was brand new. It's interesting because he's called 6-gun. It comes with 4 guns and 2 swords. So weird. So
well, I ordered him, and it took a while, about a month, to come from China, and it was Overlord that turned up. I ordered him, really? 6-gun. Yeah.
Is it not just called 6-gun though? Because it's 6 shot.
Yeah,
as opposed to actually having 6 guns.
Yeah, I was joking.
It's a joke.
Well, we have to. Sorry, I'm with Andy in this.
I knew it.
I'm with Andy in this. You have to be careful.
Yeah. Right.
I love it. I love it, Alexis. What else you got?
This is Fans Toys. I don't remember what his name is. It's Drag Strip. Drag Strip.
Oh, yeah. Quite a few people have had this and been reviewing it in the last week or two, so haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't want to do anything on that. I just want to say, I thought that he comes with an extra face, which is like a smoke, that sort of face, which looks really cool. 2 guns as well. He's a really cool bot. He's super stiff. Like comes out of the box. If you compare him to like Locke, very similar. Just there's parts of Locke just don't seem to tab in right. If something doesn't tab in, try and move it. It just, you know. I think the last bot I got from these guys was their Sheridan. I remember there were like issues with his knees and stuff, and like things breaking. It's like, so left him in the air for a little bit, and he just sort of seemed to loosen them over time, as he does, as bots do, like naturally. I got this guy. I'll show him quickly in the box. Oh, anyone want to guess what this is? Well, I'm just filling with it.
Is it your penis?
No. Is it a plane? No.
Is it
Thundercats?
Panthro.
Awesome.
Ordered that from Figureland, and what they're doing as well, which is worth mentioning if anyone's into this sort of thing, Jackalman came with some extra bits, so they sent this at no extra charge.
Isn't that to fix it?
Well, if you order them, doesn't actually come with it, but they ordered this, all the Panthro, and it comes with the bits for Jackalman and extra heads for Panthro and extra bits and pieces. So it's just extra bits. So it's make it more toon accurate as well.
How much was he?
He was 55 quid, I think he was.
So you bought Jackalman, and Jackalman didn't come with his accessories. You had to buy Panthro to get Jackalman's accessories.
No. So what Super 7 did, they released Jackalman and realised that people weren't completely happy with what he had, so they gave they released extra bits. There's been a second run of this guy, and then they released this with this guy. It's weird, but then they still have the Jackal. So if you bought the Jackalman or bought this, you've got the bit.
So you had to buy Panthro to get the extra bits for Jackalman.
I didn't even know about this. They just sent me it.
New Age do it, don't they? New Age will send bits for their past Transformers, like upgrades. So like, I think it's.
I was just thinking, if you didn't buy the other figure, do you just not get the extra bits then? Is what
I just didn't know. So I've got the whole of Wave 1 now for Thundercats. So Wave 2, 3, and 4 are on pre-order, and that wonderful Thunder Tank as well.
Do some photos.
I'm going to do some photographs. So Sherry Screeny, I got some other stuff as well, which is interesting this week. So I got this guy, Mech Fans Toys Tracks, and I did take a picture of his car mode really, but I thought plain mode, pretty cool, easy to get to as well. This bit on the end here is an extra. I'll show it at the end, and he's flying around, cruising with his best buds, obviously going for a bit of a dance off, you know, track stars. With 2 cool dudes, you know, bit of break dancing, freestyling, and then their boy band pose. So he's pretty cool. Yeah, you got Magic Square Blast on the left there, and you got Iron Factories, Jazz on the right. So he's quite a tool bot generally, but he's pretty decent. I do have him in combat actually, next to Iron Factory Red Alert, and then Magic Square Stunticle on there as well. So you can see he's decent size. And you get the blaster there as well.
Alexis,
he's a little bit.
If you go back one photo, sorry, it's just does his back rotate? Like, you know, with the cannons or whatever, missiles, whatever.
It does,
because it's turned a different way to the rest of the body. So I was just wondering, is that like a separate piece that can turn so you can position it how you want it? Or is that just for transformation?
No, exactly that. He's just articulating that bit. He's just flexing his back muscles there.
We all like to flex from time to time.
Exactly. Mech Fans Toys Skull Cruncher. Decent bot, again, similar to Brainstorm in the feel of the plastic. I'm not overly impressed with him, to be honest. So I can see why he's released last. Fans Toys done it. Mech Fans Toys done it as well. He doesn't have any heel spurs, so he's a bitch to get standing up. He's just got lots of spiky bits on him. His legs, his arms, because of he's a crocodile. So, and again, just try to pose him, and he just gets stabbed by stuff. So it's really fucking annoying.
Should have changed him to a different animal, shouldn't it? Like a jellyfish.
So that'd been really good.
Easier to transform.
Or a dolphin, they're very smooth.
So I thought, fuck off. Weird Wolf was the best engineering. Mind Wipe was the best bot. Skull Cruncher is back to the group. I'm not overly impressed with him generally, but he's decent enough to take a picture of chopping on Brainstorm's head. So I thought, we'll do that.
That looks all right. It's a shame about the heel spurs thing, isn't it?
I agree with what you said.
Quite nice.
He's a decent bot. He's hard to pose. If you can persevere with him, you can get him where you want. I haven't transformed him yet. He's a very simple transformation. So I thought, yeah. The ones that I were interested in was the Magic Square Stunticons, because I really hate the original Sideswipe mold, which Magic Square released. I bought the Red Alert one second hand, sold it, didn't like it. I bought another one brand new, and then didn't even took out the box, looked at it, transformed it, put it back in the box, and sold it straight away. It was just shocking. The plastic on these, the mold on these is better. It's like on the leg on the Sideswipe pool, it just feels loose with the pin. It's this is tight. These things are so tight they're hard to tab in, and I like that. You have to get them in the right way. The plastic feels better, and the way they tab in feels much better. It's an improvement. So this is next to, again, Iron Factory Red Alert. So for scale comparison, Iron Factory is slightly bigger. That's a little scene where they take on the cars there, and obviously walking through Megatron's commanding them, doing their bits and pieces. And that's it for photographs, I believe. If I can find my stop button. There we go. But yeah, overall, these guys, I'm really impressed with these guys. This is my favorite out of the two of them, I think. I think he's really cool. A more complex transformation than I think the Sideswipe is as well. It's just cleverer. Box art's pretty good. They've done the scene, while rather over the top as the stunts come down the mountain, take on the spots for the first time. Well, that's pretty cool. You also get the additional accessories. You get the feet from Menasor, which I've tabbed together as well. Look like seats, so that's what that's about. And then you get the leg shields as well. So you get leg shields. So I'm assuming that will wrap around most master in some way there as well. Yeah, that's me.
Smashing stunts.
No, it's not. I've got an unboxing. Should I do that afterwards? I'll do it at the end.
All right, cool.
Right,
I'll go next. I only have two things.
Dead love.
So it's going to me. All right, so this week I got, if he's allowed to do Thundercats, I'll do Star Wars. So I've carried on my Black series. So nice. This is an astromech droid. I'm gonna get all the astromech droids because they're bloody lovely. And then one last thing was got Boba Fett, and I got this from my brother for Christmas, and the whole time I was giving it to him, I was like, oh, really, really like him. And I sent it to him as his present, and then I finally got one for myself. Just the whole style of the packaging, and it's Boba Fett, and you can't really see from here, but the detail is obscene. It's just really
with the Fett man, do you?
No. So that was my pickups. I got Ryzen as well. I got my first Ryzen 3600. If anyone knows what that means, you know, I'm very happy, and it should cut down on my editing by about 2 to 3 hours.
Is it a printer? Is it a printer?
Yep.
Some reason it was still pinned on Alexis when you were talking.
I know. I saw that. I didn't mind it. That's fine. Me and my bro.
Want to do it again?
No,
it's fine. It was all good. Right. Jamie, over to you, sir.
Oh, right. Yes, what I got this week was I got issue 1 of Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars. I haven't read it yet, so hopefully it's better than the other Transformers comic, which has only started to heat up now in issue 24, well, issue 25 and 27. So hopefully that's got a faster start to it. So I'm looking forward to reading that. What's good about this, obviously, is it's got Beast Wars Megatron, which is good because I got Beast Wars Megatron and I think I got him on Saturday.
Woohoo.
And a fantastic figure. I really do love the paint work. I do like the soft plastic. It makes it feel better and it gives it a better look. And I also think it gives it a better texture as well, which you can see, you know, and he's got teeth all around there. He's got a good set of teeth, unlike Grimlock, you know, he doesn't need falsers, you know, he's well sorted. There's a couple of issues I've seen on forums with quality control where some tabs have been a bit, you know, stressed before you've even got to use them, and I can see how the tabs might eventually break if you force them the wrong way, or even just from general use. But unfortunately, I just think that's a thing with Transformers in some cases. He doesn't fit in together exactly perfect. You've got some gaps, etc. But you know what? I honestly don't care. I honestly think it's really good. I think what they've done is brilliant, you know, and I honestly think, you know, again, mini masterpiece. But I think it's, I mean, I really like it, and I'm just going to go and show you some photos. And I think he's quite good to transform. I think he's a bit of a challenge to transform when you're not used to that particular transformation. But I did like it. I mean, it's just the tabs are a bit of a nightmare.
Do you find the gaps help with any posing, Jay, or they're there for other reasons, do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm going to just go through the photos, Alexis. So I'll look through this now. So there you've got like the box there. The box is nice and colourful, quite nice and bright, and it almost sets the scene. And you know, it's obviously the new eco-friendly boxing, so they're trying to reduce the amount of plastic being used. Obviously not too worried about using too much cardboard. So there's the Beast Wars comic, which I got, issue 1, 25 years of Beast Wars. It's amazing to think it's been going for 25 years. I still think of Beast Wars as New Kid on the Block. It was only out just last week, you know, and I've ignored it since. But yeah, it's been out there for a hell of a long time. And there's my sort of homage to the Beast War comics using
that's cool.
Beast War Megatron and Optimus Primal. And there's Wave 1 complete, which I think a lot of people were kind of hoping for back in December. And I think things like Kapow, In-Demand Toys, you know, and all the other retailers in the UK did their best to send out the incomplete Wave 1 until Megatron came back, and then they sent him out separately because there's a lot of people who obviously did batch orders. So that was quite good of In-Demand Toys and Kapow, who tried their best to get things out to people before Christmas. So there's a nice Wave 1 complete. And there's your, what I consider the Beast War figures. I don't consider the Fossilizers Beast War figures, or the Rock Lords, whatever they are, you know, but there's the Beast War figures, and I do think they absolutely are fantastic. I know there's some negativity about them, but when I compare them to the older Beast War figures, I like them. There's Megatron compared to the other sort of versions of Megatron. So you've got Siege Megatron, and he's compared to MMMC Megatron, Mastermind Creations Megatron, I should say. And he's a big boy. He's definitely big. You know, he's either classy, he's quite bulky, he's got a lot of weight to him. You know, you can see the paintwork there, you know, it's nice metal paint. You know, I just looks like the cartoon to me. The head sculpt is amazing. I think they've put in a lot of effort to making this figure look good. So they've got him there just standing, just sort of going through these sort of poses. All round, I just think he looks great. You can put him into quite a couple of poses. He has got ankle tilt, you know, those feet can support his weight in particular ways, but you know, it can be a bit tricky at first. You know, I did notice that his hand, he has got like a hand holding his sort of claw, where before I wasn't sure if the older one just had a claw and then his sort of mouth. But yeah, you've got a hand there, which I quite like anyway. I can't remember if the cartoon or the comic has that, but I will find out. So there's some more poses. You can see inside, you know, they've went into a lot of effort, you know, the sort of tongue there, the colour. I know it's like purple anyway, they've got that paint anyway, but they made it work, you know, so it's good. And again, you know, the teeth are painted white, you know. And again, you can see all that texture around there, which I just think adds to it. You know, I've put in some flame effect just to see. There he is next to a Bacharachnia. You know, as I said, he is pretty massive, just like I would say. I like the size proportions from what I remember from the cartoon. It's just a close-up of his different faces. There's when he's in. I kind of still think he does look like Barney the dinosaur, really.
There he does. The good photos.
And you can see there, you know, down the centres, it's quite hard to get this sort of like the skin folds, they sort of like really seal in with each other. But you know, for some reason, you don't seem to notice it when you're got it in front of you. You know, you don't mind it. It might strike more in the photographs, but when you've got it in front of you, you just accept it. You know, it just still looks awesome because everything else about him looks really good. There he is next to Grimlock.
Who would win?
He's massive.
I would go with Megatron. I seriously think he does look brilliant. There he is with the old Beast War Megatron. This is when it hits you home how much better he is compared to the old Beast War Megatron.
Megatron on the left looks like he's actually old and dying.
Yeah, he does. He just looks awful. There he is with Bacharachnia. As I said before,
has that look of the rubber, like the old rubber dinosaurs you get, whereas that one, incredibly detailed.
Great photo.
He just looks good. I think the poses you could put onto him, I've not really done justice there.
He poses really well, Jay. You've answered my question there.
I did cut myself. I did cut myself when I first came out. So the guy drew blood, so I was a bit put off, and I did touch him for 3 days. So, you know, I was worried I might die.
Nice clean figure.
You bled for the cause, Jamie. You bled for the cause.
You know, but yeah. He is. I mean, I really like his pose. I'm going to keep him in dinosaur mode. I just like it. And there's this sort of like comic thing I did.
That's cool.
But yeah, so I'll just stop sharing there. And the other thing I got this week, and yeah, there's old Beast War Megatron. He just looks abysmal compared to
yours from when you were a kid.
Well, this is my brother's.
Your cousin sent you.
Yeah, thinking it was mine. So they left my good Transformers at home, but at least they tried to get the right stuff. Yeah. You know. But yeah, that's completely abysmal in comparison. I also got deep cover. I don't know why I got deep cover because he's so deep cover. I have no idea what he is. But he comes in the new nice eco-friendly packaging. You know, it's all cardboard, none of this plastic. They're still, and you know, they've even got string to hold them in place now. So they've got rid of a lot of the plastic now. So I'm kind of hoping this is the way forward. And I'm kind of hoping the next step is to find out this cardboard is actually recyclable cardboard.
Those boxes actually.
What's that?
I was just saying those boxes look more professional as well.
Oh, I still like the color. I still like the dye. I still like, you know, the Megatron box and stuff like that. But I think it'd be great, you know, to, you know, move on to the point of, you know, if we're doing something which is to help the environment, it should all be recyclable. There's no point using cardboard which is not from a recyclable source, because then what you're doing is you're bringing the trouble of, like, you know, deforestation again. So that's a bit pointless, you know, especially when you've got a lot of that plastic out there which needs to be used for something. But I guess you've got medical supplies and medicines and stuff. But
it's because all the exclusives come in the boxes before, like every exclusive that came before came in those special boxes, like the cardboard boxes, and to me that looks like a, you know, I associate that with exclusive. Yeah,
but remember with Nemesis Prime, you got a lot of nice artwork, you know, with the idea with the sort of like you could see his chest and it would open up. I think there's a lot designers can do, even if they didn't want to do with the colour, to give it a bit more of a stamp. So when you look at the box, you know, yeah, this is definitely deep cover, rather than looking at it as a generic, just, you know, special selects box.
Yeah.
I wonder if those Cybertronian glyphs are supposed to say, like be his name.
Oh yeah, because that just rolls off the tongue when I see that, because I know my Cybertronian gosh. Just
oh, I know you do. I know you're an expert. It's like a third or fourth language, but
yes. But yeah, so that was this week, and I've got to be honest with you, I wasn't too sure about Megatron. I absolutely loved the figure.
Real awesome. Right, before we go on to Cang Toys unboxing from Alexis, we're just going to quickly hand over to Rohan, who's got a review of Mech Fans Toys Tracks. So over to you, Rohan.
I do roll like a stone. I take you with me and call you my own.
Hello everyone and welcome to Rohan's Corner, and on this week we are doing the review for Mech Fans Toys Flywheel MS25, otherwise known as Tracks, from Mechanic Studio, who are the subsidiary of Mech Fans Toys. Here he is in the box, lovely artwork on the front, some description on the top with a sticker, a nice piece of the same artwork on the side, a close-up of his face, at the bottom some warnings, and on the other side we've got his vehicle mode, one of. And on the back, a little bit squished, this box, we have a nice interpretation of all the various different modes, as well as some of the accessories that come with him. So without further ado, let's get cracking into the box. It's the first time they've ever packaged one of their bots in vehicle mode. He comes in this plastic clamshell. If we open it up, we can see he comes with a host of accessories. You get a non-transforming G1 blaster, his weapon, which is now been put in a silver paint app, and you get two rear accessories, one for his jet mode and one for his robot mode. So we'll show those off later. In addition, you get an alternative head for him. This is the head which was used in Hoist Goes to Hollywood, and it has an alien face on it, where all the Autobots had alien masks on for the show. And he comes with his instructions, of course. And here is Tracks in his car mode. He looks brilliant. He's about the right size, all the right colours. The deep blue is perfect. The Firebird effect, I put a third-party Autobot sticker on him there. The wheels are grey, which is odd. The back end looks really nice with the tail lights and the afterburners in there. Underneath, it's nice and tidied up. I do have some issues with my figure. One, he doesn't roll. The rear wheels seem to get a bit stuck in his alt mode. However, I think maybe over time they may loosen up. They are plastic wheels, not rubber wheels. And I do have some QC issue with my wheels. You can see, focus, you can see on there there's some plastic molding issue where it's been cut off the sprue. It's not come off particularly cleanly on both of the rear wheels. Overall, I really like his car mode. It's very nice. I'm not going to show off the transformation here. I don't have enough time, but I will show off all his modes. Okay, so size comparison wise, here he is with Magic Square Wild Rider, his G1 Tracks counterpart, and also Chug Runabout. I do have the Chug Reveal the Shield Tracks figure, but it's still mint in sealed box, so I can't show that out there. These are the only 3 versions of Tracks I actually owned. And here is his Alt Mode 1 flying mode, because Mech Fans Toys have actually designed 2 flying modes for this guy. The first one has his arms and fists visible. And here's the second mode, which has got a bit more of a G1-esque look with his fists and his arms under his wing. This mode means that this piece here is a bit loose, so it's really for display only. The afterburners that I showed you before in the box look quite nice, and they just plug on. And here he is in all his glory in his robot mode. He's quite a poseable little chap. Got a great head sculpt, although those eyes can be difficult to see. The missiles on the top are adjustable, so you can move them up and down as you see fit. So is the whole of his back section actually. You can obviously move his wings up and down. It can actually works quite well even though it's silver. The only issue I have on mine seems to be his hips. These ball joints seem a little bit loose. Overall he's pretty clean all the way round. Here he is once again with his G1 counterpart, and although there is a big size difference, articulation and posability wise, he blows him out of the water. He also is a lot more cartoon accurate and well sort of proportioned, if you like, than G1 Tracks. And one last comparison picture for you. Here is the blaster that comes with MFT Tracks. This is New Age Prowl and Iron Trans Prowl. For size comparison, you can see he's much bigger than New Age Prowl, a bit more on par with the Iron Trans. Up the back there is Mech Fans Toys Snarl and Earthrise Ironhide next to Voyager class Wolf of Cybertron Earthrise Megatron. I've put in here Mech Fans Toys Blaster and Mr. Moon Blaster because these are my two Legends class blasters that I like to compare tracks with. On the right hand side is Papa Toys Inferno, and at the front we've got Shockwave from Mech Fans Toys, Magic Square Blue Streak, who is a lot smaller than Tracks, and right at the front, just for size comparison, is the Netflix Soundwave Laserbeak. So that's my review for Tracks. He cost me about £23 from AliExpress. You could probably pick him up for about £23, £24, £25 in most Chinese distributors, if he's still in stock anymore. As I say, there's a couple of small QC issues, but I love him and I think he's one of the best MFT toys to come out so far. If you don't already have him, pick him up. That's been all from Rohan's Corner this week. Join me again next week. Thanks. Back to the studio. Bye.
Hey boys, we've been rumbled. Well, let's bounce.
Thanks, Rohan. That's awesome. Right, Alexis, unbox your Kang in front of all of us.
All right. Jamie loves my scissors. So.
Get your Kang out. Get your Kang out. Get your Kang out for the lads. Get your Kang out for the lads.
So what I love about Kang, I've got 3 of them. They all come in their individual boxes. So when you buy them from wherever it is, you can see even the cover box with Kang on it comes direct from Kang. So probably shiny. So I haven't unboxed one of these before. So there's no tape. So what you get there, let me just put this down. This is it.
Is this the same figure that our friend Damien picked up?
Yes.
This week? Because it looked big on the photos he showed us.
So it looked. I think it's from the unique. Right, Shockwave. Yeah, that's right. So collector's card and stuff there. Phone packaging. So I think you get this like with unique toys. Toy will do this. So let me this out of the way. There's a fresh box smell. Cool, that smells fresh. Like nice fresh, you know.
Not bad fish.
Which some might call unfresh.
So you get this is one of his wings. And
sweet baby Jesus.
That's one wing.
Good. That seems like it could be a weapon.
Jesus Christ.
How much was this?
Let me get a Shockwave back so you can see the size of.
You can see the fucking size. You're holding your
Shockwave.
It's bigger than your head, Alexis.
You know, we understand the size of hands. We can use both our eyes to determine.
Have you got cats anywhere near you?
No,
you tell Samantha so that it makes your feet bigger, but you don't need to do that with us.
That's pretty good. So you get his missiles, his guns as well. So there, should I put back in there? There's that for a minute. And then you get the hand. This is the hand. It's the hand you get with them all.
So the combined hand.
The combined hand.
Cool.
It's like a small child's hand.
It's a beastie, isn't it? It's pretty cool.
This is going to be
as big as your hand. And how much was he?
He was 130 140 quid. And there's 6 of them.
I was just going to say there's 6 of them to get to 6 to collect.
How many pictures did you sell in your OnlyFans account to get this guy?
Just one dolphin picture to anonymous owner.
Touche.
Is that the one that Damien bought?
No wonder he's so nervous.
Out of the box. So in most Master figures, you get this wonderful like plastic in here, which isn't very environmentally friendly, but they put it in here so it doesn't paint chip. So a lot of the figures actually have that on them as well, and you can hear the squeak on them. So you can. He's pretty much just following around. He's got a nice skirt on him as well, front to back. He's got his tail feather, shaky tail feather, and all that shit. He's a big fucking bot. Ratchets in his arms. Oof. So you can have his head in different ways. So they have his head and come out. I think it's starting to be like almost. It's hard to put down in a certain way, but he's got like almost like a crest on his head as well, which I think might form the mouth. Yeah, it forms the mouth. So I'm not going to try and transform him here. But you can have him out. He's a decent bot. Looking at him now, coming out of the box. Compare him to. He's not quite Fans Toys. I can see what you mean. Unique Toys, DX9. He looks very much DX9. So you know when you get a bot. No. First party bots, you can tell from the paint on them. He's really quite cool. He's got a good light pipe in his eyes, big light pipe behind his head. He's not too heavy. He's decent. He looks like really like that's a decent ankle rocker. Looks really posable, really quite
solid.
I think, yeah, he feels really solid. Like I haven't gotten any of that. It's the first one I got out, so I hear really good things about the. Who's the
bull?
Yeah, who's the bull?
Tantrum.
I hear really good things about the paint job on him. And I must say the paint on this guy, Marida's, is really quite good. Yeah, I'm interested to see what he's going to look like actually. Overly impressed. Hands, individual posable fingers. You've got typewriter hands, I think. No, they stretch out. Plastic as well, but and you've got a sword as well. So you got a sword.
As the show goes on, if you get a chance, see if you can pop those wings on so we can get an idea of what it looks like with the actual wings on, because it's. I mean, it looks pretty impressive.
Did you just open the door to Alexis transforming?
Oh, not transforming. He'll just need to connect them. I'm hoping.
You can pop.
That's why I said as we move on, so it's not doing it.
You can put the wings on. So these are. I mean, this is. I mean, I had Feral Rex. This is fucking ridiculous. This thing's huge. Toy World's big. This thing's a monster.
Why did you get rid of Feral Rex?
Hips. I didn't think his hips were very good. Come over there. I don't know, back in the box. I thought Feral Rex was a decent bot for his time, but I didn't think that his hips were very good. The challenge with most bots, and again, it's the same with a lot of bots, is they don't compensate for the hip joints. So my Star Saber, the MP, had shit hips. Then KFC created the Leo Convoy thing, the add-on for that, which obviously, spoiler alert, Power Master Prime turned into. And then you put it on, and just the weight didn't support it. A lot of these Transformers just don't have the hips. Even the
hips don't lie.
Even the MMC Bruticus was the same as well. His hips just didn't quite sit right if you didn't put the legs in the right position. So it is a challenge. So if you look at the people that do the add-on kits, like Zeta and Toy World, they now have separate hips specifically clip onto the actual main box, and that does make a big difference.
Well, thank you for unboxing it. It's the most I've heard someone speak about hips before, but I get what you're saying. Right.
Clearly not listened to enough Shakira.
Exactly. On to our discussion. I think it's worth getting for the discussion, probably the pictures of Unicron. Unicron. So we're going to have a chat about, so 3 of us have ordered Unicron. It's obviously a massive announcement. I don't think we're ever going to see a Transformer like this from mainline Hasbro for quite some time. So yeah, we've all got expectations, and probably the thing I'm thinking isn't the same as what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, I'd like to go first just from the chug perspective, because that's what I see him as, the sort of chug where you guys are more high-end masterpiece or, you know, legend collectors. From a chug perspective, he was my only choice because I was only going to get, you know, the chug anyway. You know, so that would have been the previous chug Unicron.
Would you not get a Jim Bow one if it was oversized studio sale?
Well, see, no, because I mean, I don't know, because I can say that with Mastermind Creation, as long as it fits in with the sort of chug ethos or the chug scale, then yes, I would stretch to that. But I think when I think about the previous incarnation of the Unicron we've got, this is a massive improvement for me. And, you know, when I look at that Unicron, I could just think about all the add-ons and third-party stuff that could be built for them to improve on them. And the fact is, a lot of people will use lecture labels, lots of people will add, they'll paint stuff, you know, they'll add to it, you know. And I'm just hoping, because we've seen from the videos, which is more man-made, there's actually a lot more care to it than the usual quality control issues, which sometimes comes with these, you know, Transformers. I do think what we're discussing today is, I think Cell Studio came out and is, I think in your excellent review, Paul, you know, you discussed about the transforming was a joy, and that to you was your biggest sell point, is you transforming it.
Engineering.
Yeah, and the panels coming out, and I think with the latest sort of Transformers I've started to see, you know, especially when it comes to Cyclonus from the Kingdom line, you know, they're using panels more now. They are experimenting. I think maybe with the Unicron here, that was a step too far. What they did go for is very pleasing in both modes. What they haven't got is the paneling technology, and maybe it's because they haven't got an MP version which they're based it on, where a lot of the Cyclonus, like Kingdom and the other Transformers we've seen, like Bumblebee and Airfries, they've based it almost on their masterpiece versions they've had out. So maybe if we had a masterpiece Unicron beforehand, this would have benefited from that, where this is sort of seen from like a raw engineered chug perspective. So you have got that sort of shell forming. So you can have it in Unicron mode, and you can also have, you know, in his robot form, humanoid form. And, you know, people have realized if you can take the shell off, I don't know how easy that will be. If you'll need special instructions, you can also have his planet displayed. And I'm sure there'll become a third party for the rings to come with it.
We're saying this is chug. And it is. Technically, it is chug. It's the most expensive Transformer I own. I collect Masterpiece and Legends. It's for a Masterpiece collector. I don't know. It's a lot of money for even a Masterpiece collector to spend £600 on one robot, and it won't be £600 anymore. Will it be much more? I don't know if we can call it chug, because it's so expensive. I mean, it's not
chug style, but the price point.
If you look,
price point is
even the studio cell Unicron looks, in terms of its robot mode, to be more secure and a better representation in terms of its color and picture. This is double and some more of the price of the studio cell.
I mean, I look at it from a collector's perspective when I think about the games. You know, when you get certain types of games, you can get the special edition games which come with a lot of the paraphernalia. Am I using the right word? Yeah, and the way I look at it is this is a high-end sort of chug thing, which is more like a special select, something which, you know, very few people are going to get, you know, something they wouldn't bring out because it's not automated, it was more handcrafted. It's something which, you know, to chug collectors, it's not something we'd always get the option of. And I think Haslab, who have been doing this for Star Wars, have done it for other lines that we might not have seen, and now they've done it for the Transformer line. And I think it's something we could buy into, as, you know, especially when you think about all these specials which get made for like special events, or, you know, for different countries, like in New York, which, you know, paying the airline ticket to get to and stuff, blah, 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 you could just never get to or get it. We actually had a chance with the UK, which originally wasn't counted in it, or Europe, was suddenly given the option, because they needed the Europe and the UK to push them over that certain line to get the thing made in the first place.
I'm really excited to get him, like really, really excited. The only thing that annoyed me a bit is when I saw pictures of him next to Fort Max. Now, Fort Max was £130, I think I spent on him when I first bought him. This is 600 something pounds. is there £470 more robot in this than Fort Max? And I'll be disappointed if it turns up and there's not.
So can I just touch
if it's
on...
to do with my last point? Yes, you can.
Yeah, it is. It's both. It's yours and Jamie. It's just one point that Jamie made around the fact about they've made Star Wars, and this is obviously high end chug. Obviously, Paul, you're a Star Wars Black collector. They released a sail barge at £650. No other figure has been near that in the Black series. I don't think it has at release.
I only got 3 Star Wars toys.
Okay, fine, never mind.
I have heard about the sail barge. I think it came out just before this, didn't it?
Yeah. It's once a year, so every 2 years, I think it is. So yeah, the last one. So and that, but again, Star Wars Black collectors didn't have anything like that. So it's like it's pushing the boundaries on what the limits are for that particular franchise. I agree with what you're saying about the Fort Max thing, because I think the hips are shit, and there's for 130 quid, it's a good representation for the character, but to have it as, you know, the ultimate robot, the ultimate engineering, it's I don't know. And obviously, looking at this in this picture here, you got it on the screen. Without all the kibble, it looks like a pretty decent fucking bot. And if it's ratcheted, if it's tight, if it's got good tolerances, all of that together, and again to Jamie's point as well with the panels, if the panels can fold in correctly and actually be secure, because there's so many third parties that do panels. So Fans Toys did the Motormaster, where the Motormaster cab and trailer folded into a single robot. It's fiddly as fuck. You can break panels all over, right? The X-Transbots trailer, which converts into Menasor, I've heard is paneling as fuck as well and does the same thing. I haven't even attempted that. So I'm hoping these guys have a better method. I mean, the plastic looks thicker.
I reckon it will be. Knowing Hasbro, I think it'll be good paneling. I think it won't be runabout paneling. I think they'll put some decent effort into this, and I think you'll probably get a really nice, and when you compare it to Studio Cell, a quicker transformation. Studio Cell's lovely because it's like the engineering's obscene, but it's hard. It's a hard slog to transform in. It's not something you do when you pick up a normal robot. If this is a much easier transformation, then it's got that. That's a sell point for it. That's a plus.
I'm not sure the paint job though.
£600. Everybody's focusing on the price with £600, and then on the fact that there's a lot of paneling that just folds onto the back of his legs and onto his back, and that's where a lot of the complaints have come from. Somebody made a point in one of the groups today, or yesterday, I think, about how most of the people they saw complaining about it were people who hadn't actually ordered the figure, and that most of the people who'd ordered it were happy with it. Ultimately, it will always come back to the fact that if you're willing to pay £600 and you are happy with what's there, then there isn't an issue, is there? Ultimately, when you get it, if you're happy with it.
Yeah.
I think the fact you can display it in both modes is to me, that's a bonus. That's something, you know, I wouldn't have thought you would be able to do. If you think that from an engineering point, that's in some way some form of laziness because it's such a shell former, then, you know, by all means go and design a better way of doing it. But if I had enough money to be able to say, right, I'll spend 600 or 1,000 or whatever it's going to be going for after this, I'd buy it because I do think it looks fantastic.
I mean, would you
but
buy?
I get why people complain, and I also get why people will be happy with it and won't be worried.
I wonder if I would actually buy those as articulated models for 600 if it came as a set. Here's the plan.
But that depends whether you think it's worth it, doesn't it, James?
Yeah, and to be honest, normally I start to feel ill when I've wasted money, and I feel perfectly fine. I don't have any regrets whatsoever.
Well, no one's gonna have any regrets, are they? Who spent £600 on this, because you can just sell it for £1,000, or maybe more. And like if you waited 10 or 15 years, it could go to obscene money. So I don't think anyone's going to get it and think, oh shit, what a crap investment. It's not an investment. If you get it in your hand and it's lovely and you enjoy it, that's brilliant. But you've got that backup. You know you'll be able to sell it. But I think, Andy, and this is the point, isn't it? Are you happy with it? I don't fall out with it being a shell format, and I don't fall out with it. This is making it, for me, better. The fact that you can almost have a planet mode and a robot mode and put them like that, that's a plus for me. It's kind of weird that they didn't. If it's that easy to do, why didn't they sell it like this as well? Say, look, you can also have this.
Imagine if it was like 300 quid for each mode, right? If you said that, if you said that 27-inch figure Unicron Planet or bot was £300, you're going, actually, that's not too bad.
I'm so looking forward to getting this.
I think they probably, what they've done is they've tried to, I think they've noticed comments that they've been starting to come up when they've done the previous reveals, and they've kind of intercepted it beforehand. And I remember us talking about this. I remember joking with Jamie about, well, you'll have to buy 2 so we can have it in both modes. Well, apparently you don't.
Yeah.
So it's people can complain and say, oh, it's a Shellformer, but if you can have, the Unicron in his robot mode, and like I think was it you, Alexis, or somebody said about the third-party company will probably do the outer rings so that you don't have to take them off the robot mode, and you can then have it around that. I mean,
do you guys remember the there was I think it was Sentinel Figures did a 22-inch Scorponok non-transforming action figure, posed alongside Fort Max, right? And then that thing went for like 300 quid, right? Plus, okay, and then they released Scorponok, obviously, which is
a dream come true.
Exactly, right. Exactly. And then obviously that's the same thing, right? But what happens to that thing, right? Didn't devalue really, not much, but it just no one's ever talked about it. Like that thing was rare as the start point, right? So it's it's where do you want to be really?
Also, it's an amazing statement from Hasbro to put out like over all of the third-party companies, all the Legends companies, all the official, like this is a proper Transformer, and it's also the biggest Transformer they've ever released. It's the biggest Transformer you can get. It's the most expensive one, and it's done by Hasbro. It's done by the actual company that makes Transformers.
Yeah, I mean, I just think where we have came from, 25 years ago, I think we had a Beast War figure like that, and now we're here. And I'm just thinking, my God, it's just amazing. We keep saying it, but I'm just hoping they could only go downhill now. And I'm just
engineering will always improve, won't it? They'll get
I'm
cheaper
hoping,
to do things.
But I'm hoping
things.
The quality control process gets better, because I think that's the trouble. It's sometimes when you get cheaper to do things and the engineering gets better, but sometimes the automated doesn't have the same proofreading or the same quality control checks. So I'm hoping that improves. I think that's what they should be improving next. And is like we discussed in one of our other shows, the future will be printing out your own parts or even printing out your own Transformer.
Quality of building.
But yeah,
I think those people that have bought it will be happy with it by and large. I think people who haven't bought it or haven't paid the £600 who don't like Shellformers, they'll be happy they didn't buy it. So everybody's happy. So there's no point arguing about it. It's just be happy for those people who are going to get it. I'm sure at some point when we all get to meet up again, one of you lads will bring it along
in 2025.
Well, there'll just be giant Unicrons everywhere, and we'll all sit and admire the incredible engineering. And then for those people who haven't bought it, if you're happy because you feel like it's a Shellform, I mean, like I said, if I could afford to spend £600 on a bot like that, I would have done.
But see, Shellformers to me, I think of RC who looked like a McDonald's toy. This doesn't look like a McDonald's toy. If you came out of McDonald's like this out of a Happy Meal, you'd be going, "Wow, this is amazing." Sometimes
Happy Meals would have gone up a notch if that's
sometimes I think Shellformers are sometimes they're worse in the sense, they don't look that great, especially that transformation.
I think, to be honest, Jamie, though, I think a lot of the people's complaints about Shellformers is not so much about the look, like with the RC, where, like you say, Jamie, it looked like in its car mode like a Happy Meal toy. Whereas for some people, those people who want that more of a challenge from the engineering feel, for whatever reason, that Shellformers are too easy, like they're a cheat. You just put
was it you or Paul who said, it was Paul or either you who said RC's always been a Shellformer because of the mode and because of the style of car?
Yeah, well, I think
apart from the one based on
I do remember making a comment about that, because there's no other way to transform her to make her look in that feminine body style type. And most
that's a good
female
shout.
Transformers are the exact same way. They always have to have that female shape, which means they end up with backpacks, because that's basically the shell that goes around for the vehicle.
And I've started to see imaginative things they've done with the backpack. They've made them a sledge. Yeah. Some people have made the backpack into a bow and arrow now.
I mean, I think the best ones that managed to avoid that, Transformer, the character characters like Black Arachnia, but then it's not a shell that needs to go around it. Or Transformers Prime RC, which was the motorbike, which, you know, that was quite good. Even the actual, was it Fling 30s Chromia? You know, that was turned again into a motorbike. That was actually quite a nice figure. Whereas the Siege one goes back to, right, it's a shell that goes around it that you just tab in and everything. And yeah, I mean, I think people will be happy once they get it. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys do your reviews when you all receive them, although they might be at different times, of course. So we'll see.
The faces, the looks on when that box turns up, I'm almost looking to. Can't wait to see my wife's face. Like,
you need to get somebody needs to film. Get your partners to film your reactions when it arrives. Just that would make.
I'll be shaking. I'll be like, I'll be terrified, shaking, worried there'll be something broken.
Hopefully,
cool. The one Shellformer I actually do appreciate with RC, which actually work well. I don't know if it's got, is the DX9 version. It looks similar to the. Do you remember the Zeta Toys MP version of RC? Because the back isn't quite as round as the front, but when you actually can transform it, she actually does make a complete bot, and I was actually quite impressed with that DX9 version. And it's one bit, like the front of the car is completely solid. And it's just the back part, which again, similar to what they did with Hasbro. Hasbro wanted, though, I think, to complete the car. Because again, if they, let's face it, right? If RC wasn't complete in the car mode, you would say she's incomplete. She's not a real RC. So they've then done, what everyone's done is, apart from the MP version, which has a massive backpack, has put the back of the car on.
Yeah, the Generations one wasn't bad. I think that Andy's point was, what you're always going to have a bit of shell forming, even if it's like half or a little bit. You're always going to have that. Whereas with Unicron, like we've seen, you don't need to have shell forming. They didn't have to go down this route. They could have done it without shell forming. If this is the result that you get this, then I think that's a Brucey bonus, and actually, it's not too bad.
It's different ways of looking at it, isn't it? Though you get 2 for 1, or because let's face it, Zeta is 300 quid roughly, 270 wasn't 250
Paul's was free because he won the competition. Yeah,
exactly. 200. I think Zeta was 230 quid, right? And you get 2 modes half the size.
I had to sell him to buy this though. I wasn't allowed to buy this outright without selling Zeta.
You get one.
You can't have 2 Unicrons.
You get one twice the height, which does this. So
yeah.
But if you want one which did that, where would the engineering go right now? That would be a lot more expensive, wouldn't it? It's the price you pay for what it is.
And a bit of history, isn't it? The biggest Transformer. You know, they limited to 8,000, didn't they? So if we get to 8,000 backers, then we'll make it. And I remember listening every week to Radio Free Cybertron. They would give constant updates on where it was up to. And for 70% of the whole time it was up, it was not being backed. It got to about 2,000, 2,500. Then it had spikes when places ordered them, and it finally got to 8,000. They went over 8,000, but I never found out what the last count was. Like, did they go to 10,000? I think they went to 11,000. I can't, vaguely something reminds me they went to 11,000. But I don't know how many of these were made. So it'd be interesting to find out how many there were made.
Yeah. And it was good when Kapow actually got some more in stock and people were able to, who missed out, were able to buy them.
Like me.
Rich Zortrider made a really good point on his recent video about the things he was looking forward to in Kingdom. He just left it at the end of the video that is kind of like final thought, just to throw out there for people to have a think about. What if some point down the line Hasbro do a downscaled version of this to actually sell mainline? You know,
I don't know. I would have to come up with a mini-me where I'm laugh at them.
Haslab Unicron and his mini-me.
Yeah, you know.
Just get the Armada version.
That's an awesome video by Zortrider, where he sort of tries to predict the future of Studio Cell, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. He talks about his kind of 5 things he'd love to see
Studio series,
in the Kingdom line.
I have to watch that. I haven't watched it yet.
Series line. Yeah.
It is good. Right. Well, we'll wrap it up for tonight. I want some cheese. So, Jamie, what's the Twitter?
Twitter is Transformers the Show, so it's TF Show UK.
Alexis, what is the Instagram?
Instagram is, look at the size of this motherfucker.
Whoa!
Look at that! Look at that! Ridiculous.
Seagull size.
Love it if that was actually our Instagram. Look at the size of the
Look at my
That's
size.
an Instagram.
Sorry. He's actually got things on the back of it pop out. You can actually
take it to bed, take some photos. Alex.
Andy, can you remember the Instagram?
Instagram is Transformers the Show.
What he said.
And if you go to Facebook and search for TFUK, you'll find us there. Thanks for that. We'll be back next week. Au revoir. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
You can compare it in that way. You can say it looks much better than Earthrise Prime.
If I knew what was on the news beforehand, I could strategically put the items nearby to save time.
But you're not
that's why I didn't tell you.
And that's why
I could
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I'll strategically find a new member.
Because I don't go to listen.
You just crash it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. What fell off? Something moved. You know what moved? Something moved. Something definitely moved. Oh, that was the box at the box. Ah, she box there.
If your shells fell down now after you've done that, we would get so many views.
No. So many views.
Man destroys masterpiece collection with over-enthusiastic chair movement.
Probably should record to the cloud, shouldn't I? Then I can just forward it to you.
Oh no.
Don't record to the cloud, Alexis.
Never record to
the
cloud.
I'm not.
Back up.
Back up.
Not that I don't trust you. I'm just going to say it.
No, it's not you. It's the cloud.
Yeah,
the cloud's the issue.
The cloud is bad.
It will stop recording after 2 gigabytes.
Bad cloud.
Don't record to the cloud.
Cloud bad.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Download. Is that download?
Don't you do it.
Download.
Can see you reaching.
I've already started recording.
No. What, to the cloud?
No, not to the cloud.
To your computer.
Thank fuck.
Where is stuff? Where's stuff? Stuff.
There's people in the cloud. Alexis.
Stuff.
It's people in the cloud. The cloud people. The cloud people. They will come for your nude photos.
You look gorgeous now, Paul.
I looked like shit before.
I did look like a cunt.
I was going to say, yeah.
So the discussion is... So we've seen pictures of a Unicron. We have a discussion all about what do we think about his shell and his body. And that's a good thing or a bad thing. What are we thinking about Unicron? Yeah. What are we thinking about Unicron?
Yeah.
I just want to say, before we start, my little boy made me this the other day after Valentine's Day.
Oh.
I love you. It's back. I think on my video is mirrored, but it says "I love you."
Oh, see what it's like. That's so cool.
So on my desk, he then goes, "Daddy, you can have it back." No, it's mine now.
Yeah.
We need to at the end of the video.
Yeah, that's the one line we
But we want people to like, share, and subscribe.
Oh my god! Don't join, pal. What's his name? Prime versus Prime. He says that. Do you want us to be Prime versus Prime?
Yeah, but he's not the only one who says that. All of them say that.
No, just
yeah,
Prime.
but we
just
don't
Prime.
want to be like all of them. We're different. You know.
It just seems stupid. It's like we're a level above because we don't ask all day.
No, it's not like a level above. We're just different. We don't.
We should say unsubscribe, shouldn't we?
What does that
Let's
mean?
say unsubscribe.
Other than we don't ask them to like.
It's called decorum.
What does different mean?
Say
it's just decorum. It's
if
just
you subscribe, could you unsubscribe?
It's YouTube. It's not a fucking dinner party.
Well, why can't we be a higher class of YouTube? Why should we have to be
There's
like
no such thing on YouTube?
What, we going to start doing stupid stuff, running around naked? I don't know. We don't need to do that.
I don't know. There's people on this team that aren't far off.
I know. I just like
especially
to
after enough years.
For just a bit of caliber, Andy.
You're top tonight, Alexis. It's my shirt.
I've got all broke back.
As often you do after 3 beers.
Shit, sorry. That's one button too many.
We don't do 3 buttons.
Calm down.
Nah, it's not that one.
Oh, we have a disclaimer.
This is you have it
the video.
Up, but when we came on, you decided I'll take that button for my viewers.
Yeah, we don't want to start making people pregnant.
No, 2 seconds. I'm just my drops.
Okay, cool. No, that's glue. Stop it.
Fire! Ooh, 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 ooh. Arrowfyre! Ooh, 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 ooh.